It's astonishing how this kind of politician, very much in the ascendancy at the moment, it's astonishing how this kind of politician is perfectly comfortable standing up, for example, in the House of Commons and telling people that they don't need food banks, they just need cookery lessons, or popping up on the telly telling Kay Burley that people just need to get a better paid job or work extra hours. So they'll tell you how to live your life. They'll tell you what you need to do. But they are absolutely terrified of telling companies that are shelling it, companies that are raking in the kind of sums that look like telephone numbers to normal people. They're perfectly, supremely comfortable telling some poor soul over there who's got an indoor coat that they should have cookery lessons or find a better job or work extra hours, or use the value range of food. So just think for a minute. We've stumbled across something here again, haven't we? That's it, isn't it? That's the dichotomy at the heart of these ideologies. So what is acceptable behaviour? Acceptable behaviour is telling people who can't afford to feed themselves that they should perhaps consider buying value range products in their local supermarket, finding a better job, working extra hours, or taking some cookery lessons, because there's not really any such thing as poverty, and if there is, you deserve it. Right? You deserve to be poor. It's your own fault for being thick, for not knowing about the value range food, for not knowing how to cook, how to roast a chicken, for not having the wherewithal to realise that you can just walk out the door now and get a much better paid job than the one you've currently got before you can say, what a load of cobblers. Right? That is the ideology, because that goes hand in hand with the argument that here's a company making several gazillion pounds in profit, largely as a result of the increase in wholesale energy prices. They're just harvesting it. They're just shoveling money into the coffers of shareholders. But we can't touch them. We absolutely can't go near them. Look, if we go near them, they might move. Do you remember when Paul Daniels, the late magician, and various other people that said that if Labour get in, I'm going to emigrate? None of them ever did, as far as I'm aware. This is similar, isn't it? No. We can tell desperate people exactly what, that we can patronise them till the cows come home. But we can't tell massive companies what to do. We can't tell people paying their bosses tens, 20s, millions of pounds. We can't take money off them and give it to people who can't afford to heat their homes. So that's question number one. What are the ideological reasons that are currently driving 10 Downing Street to resist a move that Treasury officials reportedly believe is politically unavoidable? Talk me through the ideological reasons that make number 10, or Boris Johnson and his advisors, believe that they shouldn't do anything like a one-off tax on energy suppliers to help people cope with the cost of living. Question number 2 is a bit trickier. Question number 2 focuses upon how much money it's going to raise. I saw a horrible, a few people enjoy Twitter more than I do, but occasionally you do stumble across some of the stuff about the rape allegations yesterday that were being tweeted by quite well-known people, not just Michael Fabricant, but also people who do this for a living, were genuinely staggering. You sort of, I don't know whether it's naivety, but I saw one tweet yesterday as if it was a gotcha. Labour admit in the House of Commons that a windfall tax would only raise about £120 per household, as if that were a gotcha. And again, I thought of indoor coats. It was a teacher's wife, if you remember, in Cromer, who just rang in very matter-of-factly to explain that her and the kids wear indoor coats so that when they go outside, they feel the benefit of their bigger coats. They need to wear a coat inside to keep warm, but if they wore the same coat outside, then it wouldn't provide as much protection against the cold as they need or as they would like. So they've got indoor coats and then they stick another coat on when they go outside. In Britain, in 2022, in a home where the breadwinner is a teacher. Indoor coats. So the second question is, would 120 quid a year make much difference to you? And I wish I didn't have to keep asking questions like this, but as long as elected politicians and professional commentators, broadcasters and journalists keep suggesting, keep towing the line, keep doffing the cap and tugging the forelock to capital, to wealth, I have to keep asking these questions because they keep denying that you exist. Or if they admit that you exist, they think it's your fault that you're poor, even if you're a teacher, Or yesterday it was a police officer, wasn't it? I don't know if you saw that at the Police Federation. Gross income of 40 grand. And of course, in the hands of some elements of the right-wing media, that will be turned into an invitation to other people to say, well, I don't know why anyone's feeling sorry for her, I'm much poorer. Because if you can get people to turn on each other, they're never going to look up. Just like the immigration debate all over again. And that is where, almost as if I planned it, this introduction ends. Because it began with a bloke saying, oh, I'm a free marketeer. But obviously, if my sector needs help from the government, then the government should jolly well give it immediately. And do you remember in the immediate aftermath of Brexit, when people would ring up and in tears quite often, talking about friends, family members, colleagues who'd voted to abolish freedom of movement because there were too many immigrants. And they'd say, but I'm one of those people. I remember one woman talking about her own mother-in-law, said, I am one of that. And they all said, oh, no, we didn't mean you. We didn't mean you. Those are the ideological reasons, aren't they? We're in favour of something for reasons we don't really understand until we actually encounter the reality of it, and then we're not in favour of it at all. So I'm in favour of a free market until my sector needs help, and then I think it should get help from the government. I'm in favour of abolishing freedom of movement until it actually affects people I know and encounter, at which point, oh no, I didn't mean you. I meant all the ones that Nigel has his little cheese dreams about. I meant the ones in the poster. I didn't mean real people that I actually meet. I meant all the people in the Daily Mail articles. So what are the ideological reasons behind simply, profit is clean money. It's clear money. You could say we would reinvest it in R&D, but the head of BP has said actually we wouldn't have done that. It goes into the pockets of shareholders. That's all. Some of whom will be institutional. There might be pension funds involved and things like that. The numbers are huge. Smack them with a windfall tax. Put 120 quid in every pocket in the country. How can that be something you would ideologically oppose in a time of genuine crisis? That's the crucial condition, a time of genuine crisis. 03456060973. And Labour's plan is actually targeted, so it goes up according to who needs it most. That 120 quid figure is an average. So maybe we'll drop the second question. No, let's not. Let's call it 120 quid, right? That's the sort of bottom line number. And the suggestion is from the kind of people who write op-eds or run hate sites on the internet, the suggestion is that that's such a pittance that it won't make any difference to anybody. Would it make a difference to you? And what are the ideological reasons that prevent Boris Johnson and his closest advisors from taking money from the richest companies on the planet and giving a few quid to people who are currently choosing between heating and eating, or already going without both?